Hello friends, welcome to Electronic Circuit Hub. So today we will understand the steady state analysis of buck boost converter, right? We have already seen the design and simulation of buck converter in the previous video. We have already seen the design and simulation of boost converter in the previous video. So in this video we will learn and we will understand what is the function of buck boost converter, right? So this is going to be very interesting video. We will see what is the inductor volt second balance, what is the capacitor charge balance, what is the impact of ripple current across the inductor, what is the impact of ripple voltage across the capacitor. So we will understand if buck and boost merge together and how it will work, right? So this is going to be very interesting video today. Okay, we will understand what is the behavior of buck boost converter at t on time of switch, what is the behavior of buck boost converter at t of time of the switch, right? So these are all things we will understand today. So uh, we will understand today what is inductor volt second balance for buck boost converter, what is the capacitor charge balance for buck boost converter, what is the transfer function derivation for buck boost converter, and we will understand what is how do we calculate the inductor value and how do we calculate the capacitor value. So this is the agenda for today's video. We will thoroughly understand the buck boost converter steady state analysis, right? So yeah, this is the general form of buck boost converter. So here you can see in place of MOSFET I've used a DP/DT switch. Okay, I've used a switch. So we will realize the circuit, we will understand the behavior of buck boost converter. Here you can see we have supply voltage, then we have a switch connected here, this is the switch, then we have inductor over here. In the buck boost converter we have first switch, then we have inductor, then here somewhere we have diode, and then we have capacitor, and then we have load resistance. Let me show you in the previous slide. So basically this is the basic circuit diagram of buck boost converter, right? So here we have supply voltage, then we have a switch which is called MOSFET, and it is driven by the PWM signal. Then we have an inductor over here, then we have a diode which is connected in this fashion, and then we have capacitor, and then we have some load resistance over there, right? So this is the basic circuit diagram for buck boost converter, right? So these all things spoke about. Yeah, so here I have replaced the MOSFET with a switch. Okay, so here we have inductor, current flowing through inductor is ILT, and then we have capacitor, then we have load resistance and voltage, then this is the output voltage, right? So this is the general form of buck boost converter. Let us understand now the steady state analysis of buck boost converter. Let us understand what will happen if switch is at position A, if switch is at position A here, and what is happen if switch is at position B, right? So to be explained this circuit, let us say this is the supply voltage, then this is IT, there's a total current flowing through the circuit here. Then we have inductor current ILT, then we have voltage across inductor VLT, then we have capacitor current ICT, then we have load resistance, and then we have output voltage VOT. Okay, now let us see when switch is at position A, that means switch is connected here. So if you want if you want to find the equivalent circuit for this buck boost converter, so if switch is connected here, so in this case you have supply voltage and this is connected to to the inductor. Okay, so during t on time, inductor charge up to its full energy, right? And then the same time, this capacitor delivers to the energy to the load. So this is the load resistance, right? So current across inductor is ILT, voltage across inductor is VLT, and current across capacitor is ICT, and the load current is IRT. Then we have VOT, that is load voltage, right? Now let's see when switch is at position B. When switch is at position B, what is the equivalent circuit? When switch is connected at position B, that means this behaves like a open circuit. Okay, when switch is at position A, your diode connected here behaves like a open circuit. Now this switch behaves like a open circuit, so this is fully isolated with the load. Now in this time we have this inductor voltage, inductor which is connected to a capacitor, then we have load. Now, let us understand the what is the voltage across inductor and what is the output voltage when switch is at position A, right? When switch is at position A. So if you further solve this circuit and draw your equivalent circuit, so this is the circuit for this section and this circuit for this section, right? Now if I want to find out the voltage across inductor, that is VLT equals to Vs, that is equal to your input voltage or your source voltage, right? Okay, if you apply a small ripple approximation here, voltage across inductor VL is given by the source voltage Vs, right? Now, if you want to find out capacitor current, so capacitor current ICT is given by IRT. You can see since we have one closed loop here, so this current ICT is given by IRT but in opposite polarity, right? So ICT equals to IRT equals to V naught out VOT divided by R, that is output voltage divided by the load resistance VO divided by R. If you apply a small ripple approximation, your capacitor current is given by minus VO divided by R, right? Minus VO divided by R. So this is when your switch is at position A, the voltage across inductor is given by VL equals to Vs and capacitor current is given by IC equals to minus V naught divided by R, right? Now let us see when your switch is at position B. When your switch is at position B, the inductor voltage is given by VLT equals to VOT. Whatever your inductor voltage VLT, this is as same as your output voltage since these are connected in parallel loop. Okay, so and the capacitor current is given by ICT and ICT equals to this time if you apply KCL here, Kirchhoff current law. So at this node, this current going outwards, this current going outwards, and this also current going outwards. So IL plus IC plus IR equals to 0. And if you solve for ICT, you will find minus ILT minus IRT. Okay, so if you apply a small ripple approximation here, IC equals to minus IL minus V naught divided by R. And what is your IR? IR equals to V naught divided by R here. Here your IR equals to V naught divided by RL, that is load resistance. Okay. So now we have voltage across inductor when your switch is at position A and B, and capacitor current when your switch is at position A and B, right? So yeah, so this is inductor voltage waveform during T on time for time period dts we have input voltage or source voltage across your inductor VLT. For d prime time ts, we have inductor voltage is equal to your output voltage. Now, if you apply inductor volt second balance to find out the transfer function of buck boost converter, right? To find out the transfer function of buck boost converter. So here the area under curve equals to 0. So Vs for this cycle, Vs into dTs plus V naught into d prime time Ts equals to 0, right? If you solve this, you can find your transfer function V naught divided by Vs equals to d divided by d prime. And if you further solve this, V naught equals to Vs equal V naught divided by Vs equals to d divided by 1 minus d. Okay, d prime equals to 1 minus d. So this is basically a transfer function for buck boost converter. Okay, and if you want to find out the output voltage vo equals to Vs times d divided by 1 minus d, right? Vs time d divided by 1 minus d. So this is basically a transfer function for buck boost converter, right? So this is basically a transfer function for buck boost converter, and by using this equation you can find the output voltage for buck boost converter, right? Happen if your duty cycle changes? What is the impact of your output voltage? And you can also find the conversion ratio. Let us say if your duty cycle is 0.5, what is the your output voltage? If your duty cycle is 0.4, what is your output voltage? You can easily find irrespective of your source voltage or your input voltage, right? So basically this is the DC transfer function of buck boost converter, right? So now we will understand capacitor charge balance. Okay, this is the capacitor charge balance. So current across the capacitor during T on time of switch is given by V naught divided by RL, and for D prime time Ts is given by minus IL minus V naught divided by RL. Okay, and if you apply uh, area over curve, area under curve, you can find V naught divided by RL into dTs plus IL minus V naught divided by RL into d prime time of Ts. And if you further solve this, if you further solve it for inductor current IL, which is equal to minus V naught divided by RL into d prime, and if you replace your V naught divided by V naught with the previous equation, we have V naught divided by Vs equals to d divided by 1 minus d, or d divided by d prime. You can find IL equals to Vs minus Vs divided by RL into d prime square. Okay, so this is the inductor equation in terms of output voltage, and this is the inductor current equation in terms of the source voltage or input voltage, right? Hope you understand what is the inductor volt-second balance, and how do you calculate the transfer function here, and what is the capacitor charge balance, and how do you calculate the inductor current, right? So let us move ahead now. This is the inductor current. Let us move ahead now. uh, this is the waveform for inductor current here, right? This is the waveform for inductor current. So we will now understand inductor current ripple magnitude analysis, and we will find the value of L, right? So if you find the inductor current for T on time, that means dTs, that which is given by the inductor voltage divided by inductance value. So Vs divided by L. For d prime time, the inductor current is given by V naught divided by L. Okay, so here you can see this is the DC inductor current. Okay, this is the DC inductor current, and then we have some ripple inductor current, which is given by delta IL. Okay, this is the inductor ripple current, and this is the DC inductor current. Okay, so if you apply area under curve for T on time, you can find you can find your delta IL ripple current, which is given by 2 delta IL equals to Vs divided by L over time period dt. Yes, okay. And by using this equation, you can find out your inductance value. What is your inductance value needed for your output load? Okay. So inductance value L is given by now Vs divided by 2 delta IL into dTs, right? Into dTs. So by using inductor current ripple magnitude analysis, you can find the value of inductor for your requirement, right? Now let us move ahead and we will find now we will do capacitor ripple magnitude analysis and we will find the value of capacitor, right? So this is the waveform for capacitor voltage across the capacitor for t on time dts. The voltage across capacitor is given by v naught divided by L into 1 by c. For uh, time period d prime time ts, the capacitor voltage is given by IL plus V naught divided by delta V naught divided by RL. So here we have some mistake here. This is V, that means pure DC voltage across capacitor, and this is the delta V, that means ripple voltage across the capacitor. And if you find area under curve, which is given by 2 delta V equals to minus V naught divided by 2 RLC into d prime time ts. Okay, so if you want to find out the value of c, which is given by minus v naught divided by 2 delta v rl. Okay, here I think 2 should not be there. So the value of capacitor is given by minus V naught divided by 2 delta V RL over a time period of dts. So hope you understand how do you realize the steady state analysis of buck boost converter. What will be happen if switch is at position A? What will happen if your switch is at position B? How do you do inductor volt second balance analysis and find the transfer function for buck boost converter? How do you do capacitor charge balance analysis and you can find the inductor current, and then how will you find the inductance value and how do you find the capacitance value? Okay, hope you understand all these things. If you have any question or query, feel free to ask me in comment section. Thanks for watching this video, right?